Northern Ireland. Martin's behind in the Yaris, and Sammy is with me. Sammy, that you may recognise from Lucky Day competitions, yoga,
banjo,
playing a banjo,
riding horses.
What's the other jobs?
Exposing cables in Australia.
Oh yeah, like was it trenchless digging?
Yeah, with a high powered hose, and I was the sucker truck girl. I vacuumed it up.
So anyway, we're going to do a little bit of cab chat, even though we're in an Evoque. Is it Evoque?
Evoque, yeah.
Yeah, built in Halewood.
Oh.
So you're 40 nearly.
No, nowhere near it. 21.
When you were in school, what did you want to do?
When I was in school, I wanted to be a vet. I think I was just because I loved animals. But then as I got older, I realised you had to go to university for whatever 4 or 5 years. So
you couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe not.
And so then what did you decide to do?
It all just kind of happened really randomly. So I did my GCSEs, and the school I went to was a high school, didn't do A levels at the time, so you had to go and either go to a tech or something like that to further your education, or get a trade, like become a hairdresser. And it was the end of August, and I still had no idea what I was going to do, or I wasn't really too bothered. I was too busy just having a crack and having fun. So I was about 16, and my brother's girlfriend at the time was like, come on, you need to sign up for some sort of a course. So she took me down to the local tech, and we went round and looked at all the courses you could do. And then she was like, performing arts, what about that? And I said, art, yeah, I like art. Like, I thought it was painting because it had the word art in it. Anyway, it turned out it was theatre. So I went and did my vocational A levels in performing arts, and from there went on to the Gaiety School in Dublin.
What school?
The Gaiety.
Gaiety in
Dublin. Yeah, it's where Colin Farrell went.
Is he an actor?
Yeah. Do you know who Colin Farrell is?
Yeah. So did you do much acting after that?
Yeah, so I graduated there when I was 2021, and then worked full time basically as an actress for about 6 or 7 years. And then the recession happened, and the arts were the first thing to get their funding cut. So this would have been the recession of 2010 or 8 or whenever.
2010, yeah.
2010 or... Yeah, and then I headed off to India for 2 months to do my yoga teacher training, and then off to Australia.
Why there for yoga training? Is it like a thing?
Yeah, India is the home of yoga.
Right.
Did you not know that either?
No.
Just you're getting educated, Ollie.
So when you were acting, though, were you in anything that's famous, like?
Well, like I did a wee small piece in a thing called The Tudors, which was about King Henry VIII. That was filmed in Ireland, but it was mostly theatre acting on stage. So I did a couple of wee bits on for TV and film, but I didn't like it as much. All the kind of hanging around, and it wasn't for me. I preferred the stage where it was just like all your energy within 2 hours was just like, Wah! That was more suited to me.
Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, than all this hanging around. And if you've ever been to a film set, it's
just waiting.
Yeah, waiting. That just didn't suit my personality at all.
Case the shit.
Go on, kids.
It's like when I've done Country File a few times, and they only use one camera.
Right.
They want 4 different angles.
Oh yeah.
Everything 4 times.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
That's a wee bit like a Lucky Day. One rhino.
So you ended up in India doing yoga, or Australia first?
Yeah, India for 2 months. Spent 1 month touring around, and 1 month then in a yoga school doing my yoga teacher training.
And then you flew to
Australia, went straight to Darwin because my brother was there at the time, so I was like, oh well, sure, it's a good place to start. And I ended up staying there, got a couple of nice jobs, and fell in with a couple of different groups of people, and stayed there for a year.
digging holes.
Digging holes, boy. Yeah, I actually came across that job by accident as well. I was doing, so most Irish girls, or probably English girls as well, when they go to Australia, you have to do farm work or regional work, but a lot of girls do traffic control. It's a better way of doing farm work and getting your second year visa. So I was doing traffic control, and again we would
like a lollipop.
Yeah, lollipop. Yeah. Like the film sets, you're just standing around doing nothing for hours on end. I was like, this doesn't suit me at all. And then this Australian fella came on to the site to do exposing cables one of the times. Sure, I was just chatting away to him, and then he was like, do you want a job? And I was like, doing what? And he was like, well, you could come round with me and hold the sucker hose thing. I was like, and he was like, look, take my number and blah blah, give us a ring, and that's what you'd be getting paid. And he says it'd be 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, because doing the lollipop job, you could be any time, all hours, and then you can go through stages where you're not working for weeks as well. So then I was like, right, okay, let's go for this sucker truck thing.
So was it like really hard soil and they dig it with a high pressure hose?
Yeah. It's just so, like, say you're going somewhere and you want to build whatever it is, and you need to do groundworks. You need to expose the water pipes and cables and the electrical cables and all before you start digging in case you hit them. So that's where we'd be called in. So we would expose like a wee square about this size, and it could be like 6 foot down, it could be more or less. You just keep going until you find the cable, and then you mark it with a wee spray tin, and you say, right, there's your
you do
cables.
the CAT scanner first, like.
Yeah, Wayne, the fella who owned the company, he came in first with it. Looked like a metal detector.
Yeah.
And he'd say, I think it's around here, and he would put a wee mark on it, and then me and Darren, you called your man, would come in. The heavies would come in then and expose it.
That's a long way from acting.
I was just like, how did I end up here? Like, I'm literally covered from head to toe in shite every day, like in muck. Like it'd be even in your eyeballs, sleeping that night, like your eyeballs felt gritty because you're just blasting muck out of the ground, and you have to be in it with your wee hoover, your wee hose, sucking it up.
Yeah.
It goes everywhere. Yeah, it's a long way from acting.
And then you ended up then back in Ireland playing with horses.
Yeah, then came back to Ireland. So I rode horses as a kid until I was about 16 or so, and then gave it up when I went to the Gaiety school. So when I came back to Ireland, I was teaching yoga full time and got myself a horse, and then ended up going hell for leather about a year later at the horses. I was doing yoga sort of part-time and horses part-time, and then I went hell for leather at the horses for about 6 years.
So that show jumping or dressage or what?
Show jumping.
So that's like big fences.
Big jumps high.
In a circle.
In a circle. Yeah, I suppose you could say that.
Yeah, it's not like the Grand National, though, is it?
No. It's like in a big sand arena. It's in a controlled environment. Yeah.
And then you just grew out with them.
Then Lucky Day came along. Started up Lucky Day and was doing it part-time and horses part-time. And then Lucky Day just got so busy that 2 years ago I had to sell up with the horses and just go full-time with Lucky Day.
So what would you describe your job role as now then?
A pain in the ass. I don't know. It's hard to know what I am, because I suppose
The face of
Lucky Day, the creative director of the creative stuff.
Videographer?
No, well, I'm not a videographer. I have Rhino for that. Well, I suppose actually I video a lot of stuff myself. Presenter, but I also create all, like, it's my ideas, all the sort of wee skits and different things I do. Like, they would be all, I'd have to come up with them ideas and write scripts and get everyone on board. Like, if we're getting outsiders, like the Ollie Blogs coming over, I'd have to get in contact with him or whatever and organise all that. So I don't know what you would, creative director, no? / presenter.
Yeah, I would say director. Just get one of them chairs.
A chair? What's a chair?
With the wooden things and the fold up director's chair.
Oh yeah, where you sit and you look all important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get one of them.
Which bit do you enjoy the most?
At Lucky Day. I love the shows. I love meeting everyone and having the crack and doing all that. I actually love the editing. So like say we've been out all day and we're filming and I'm like, that was really good, and you've ideas like, oh, I could put that bit together with that and that would do that. Like I get all excited and I'm going home to edit. I love the editing. What else? Like I love coming up with the ideas for skits, like the being creative, like coming up with ideas, putting them onto paper and then seeing them come into life. Like that bit's class as well. There'd be more like, what do I not love? The only bit I don't love is stand out in freezing cold trying to do videos. You know, I actually love it all. I don't think there's any bit I don't like.
What, you've been doing some work with Malone then?
Yep.
Is that intense on show days because everyone knows you?
It's, yeah, like before, like I'm a bit worried. So say the night before a show or the next morning before I go, it's like a wee bit of an anxiety, you know, before you, like it's nearly before you go and play a game of football or something. It's like, am I going to do good enough? Am I going to get what I want to get here? Is anyone going to be disappointed in me? Is something going to happen? You know, a wee bit of anxiety and worry about, am I going to do my job good enough here? Am I gonna...
Someone going to ask you about Moa and you don't know the answer to?
Well, that's a given. I can talk my way out of that. But yeah, a wee bit sort of anxious before shows, a bit of anxiety.
Well, you go to shows as well with...
Lucky Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
So you'll just take some of the prizes and then...
Yeah.
People just flock on to say hello and...
Yeah. So like the agricultural shows will take a couple of the tractors that are on the website at that time and set up our wee merchandise stand, and then yeah, people just come over to check out the tractors or buy tickets or get a photo with me and Big Dog or just have the crack. And then we were doing a lot of the drifting shows this year, IDC, because we sponsored the Irish Drifting Championships. You just kind of be going with your stand and trying to get footage and trying to promote the Irish drifting and the drivers and sort of take their personalities out to the forefront of it, you know, to try and get people to follow it.
So, Big Dog, he's there because he's good on camera?
Yeah, so Big Dog's a long time I was over a year ago. Big Dog's a friend, like I've known Big Dog for years, or Shane his name is, and I just like people think that's an act he puts on. That's actually him in real life. Yeah. So I was like, you would be brilliant, like at Lucky Day, and he's a full-time electrician in Dublin on a good wage, and he was kind of going for a mortgage and stuff. So he couldn't. There was other things as well. He couldn't come and work for us at that time. But he was like, I will when I get things sorted, and we were like, okay, let's try and work it out. So it was a year from when I first said to him until when he came to work at Lucky Day. It was a year in the making, yeah. Big Dog.
So the whole competition thing, you sometimes lose though, don't you?
Yeah, so
if you don't get something that people want to win,
yeah,
right,
so like if you don't sell, say a tractor, you've paid 10 grand for it and you sell 8 grand's worth of tickets and you've also spent 1,500 or 1,000 on advertising, then you're losing out. But if you sell 15 grand's worth of tickets for it and you've spent 1,500 in advertising, you've made a bit. But then as well, people don't realise there's massive overheads and 15 staff to pay, and
that's what I couldn't believe, how many staff just to make it happen.
Yeah. And
everyone was like doing something.
Yeah, it's meant like there's
the cost of moving it as well, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, the transport cost, that all has to be built in. And
so when someone in the Scottish Highlands wins, you're like, oh no.
No, we had someone last year win in the Scottish Highlands, a big bundle, and maybe it was 2021. We went over with the prize and all, and did a whole big video. It did cost a lot to send 3 members of staff over and 4 truckloads of stuff. Three. But you get great footage then as well, and you know, for your social media and content, and that goes a long way.
So
adds to the crack.
this next year, have you got loads of shows planned, or are you just seeing what time you've got?
I think we're going to do less shows this year. Like when you look at the amount of shows we went to last year, it takes a lot of manpower for not only like the organising it, getting it, packing everything up, getting it ready to go, taking 4 or 5 staff down the country for 2 days or 1 day, paying for your stand, paying your staff, and then not only that, you're trying to run the business as well, so you're expecting all your staff to come in again the Monday morning and hit the ground running, because we have 5 prizes going tonight that has still 1,500 tickets each to be sold, and everyone's wrecked from the weekend, and it's the same on a Friday. You're trying to get whatever big bundle up, but we're still also trying to get packed and ready for a show, you know, so it takes a lot out of the team in terms of like just physically, and then it's also the cost of the shows. So we're just going to pick some of the bigger ones this year where you're going to be definitely making a few £pound back.
Do you see trends at times of year? So like on YouTube you get different views based on like, so a lot of people are watching a Sunday morning, but on a Friday evening people won't watch.
Yeah.
You know, or beginning of January is really slow because people have got so much else to do. Or do you find that
for posting content, I find like if you have something that's sort of long and has a storyline to it, the best time's a Sunday to post. You just, or no matter what I post on a Sunday, it always does best. And then I'll try to keep as well to posting say 10 a.m. in the morning. That's when say, you know, people are getting their wee break, like the workmen and stuff get their wee coffee break. I try to post around like in the middle of the day. I'll put up one, whether it be lunchtime or a bit later, and then I'll post again at 7 p.m. That's just kind of the way.
Have you had any coaching, or have you just self-taught by watching your own analytics?
Yeah, just self-taught by watching my own analytics, yeah.
Well, it's the same with me, but you find that there's experts out there that don't actually know. As well, I found, like, oh, we can optimise this and we can optimise that, and you're just like, well,
the farmers don't work like that, so I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah.
I do watch a lot of them videos that, you know, they're telling you what's the best thing to do and stuff, and I'll pick up on some of it and take what I need out of it and put some of it aside then if I don't need it.
So what's next?
Next is the hog trailers.
Hog engine, yeah. That's where we're on our way to. So we've got Martin with us.
Yeah, I'm just going to start. 3 miles to take the exit. For Lucky Days, we're sponsoring the Irish Drift Championships this year. Again, we want to try and get a little bit more into the motor sport side of things, whether it be vintagey cars, motorbikes, that kind of thing.
Or like a GR Yaris.
I like yours.
You could raffle that.
See, what's happened with Lucky Day is it's grown too big too quick, that we're all a wee bit at the minute, like it looks like a swan, as you said yesterday when you were describing something else on when you look at the website, but underneath everyone's kind of just trying to keep it alive, you know, or not to keep everything together. So I think a lot of this year is going to be about coming back to home and getting everything stronger at home and more organised, and from there we'll be able to go out stronger because we'll be more organised at home. What else this year? We'll go to what all shows? We're going to go to a couple of smaller shows that we're allowed to sell tickets at. A lot of the shows are now telling us we're not allowed to sell tickets.
All right.
We'll go to the Balmoral. The Balmoral is our favourite show of the year. You should come over to that. It's in May.
Do you not do any in the UK, England?
We went to the Yorkshire show 2 years ago. Probably was too premature. We weren't well known enough. It was a lot of money spent for what we got back. So I don't think we'll do that. Might try and go to the Scottish Highlands. I would say this year that would be all we would do in terms of shows in the UK. Maybe try Lama next year. It was lovely, wasn't it?
I suppose it's a difficult one because what you're selling changes all the time, and it's predominantly online based. So,
Yeah.
do you actually need to be at a show? It's
Yeah, I think it is nice to get out to a couple of shows and get to meet people. It especially was at the start. I think we did 2 years on the trot there of show, but that was because we were new and people didn't really understand and thought like we didn't really exist. And it was nice to get out and actually meet people and be like, no, we are real. You could win this tractor for £20. So that's why I think just scale back on the shows this year, because we are well known and people know how it works. Just get out to a few of the bigger ones that let us sell tickets.
So, what's next for Sammy herself? 2.4 children and a dog.
Yeah, it's working on that, Ollie.
Got the dog.
I've got the dog. Yeah, just have to work on the rest. What's next for Sammy? I think I'll just keep going with Lucky Day and try to, as I say, get back to base and get everything at home working a bit smoother and more efficiently.
So you're not going back to yoga? You're not going back playing with horses?
I'd love to go back. I've started going back to yoga class like as a student, but I don't think I'll ever teach yoga again. I'd love to go back to horses at some stage when I get time, but I'm an all or nothing person, so I couldn't have a horse there and you just ride it once a week or once a few weeks.
Right to the round.
Oh yeah. So he's letting me go.
It's Martin anyway.
Oh, it's Martin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully sometime I'll be able to buy a horse again and have fun. But for now, I'm just too bit. Lucky Day just consumes my life 24/7. It's all I think about.
So you do a lot on TikTok, a little bit on Instagram. You're going to start doing stuff on YouTube.
I am going to start. Yes, I am going to start a YouTube
Because
channel.
what we could do is, when you start a YouTube channel, we could put your link underneath this video.
Oh, could we?
Yeah.
Yay! Okay,
So
that would be great. We get a first plug. Yeah, YouTube. That's the next thing. YouTube channel, and try and get used to this longer form content,
Yeah.
which I think I would enjoy. You know, because with TikTok, everyone's attention span is so short.
Sorry?
And
What was that?
with TikTok, he's hilarious, isn't he? That you're just fighting for people's attention. I feel like you have to be either hilarious or you have to have something that's gonna just grab them within 5 seconds or they're gone. Can you see his face?
One there. We're just dropping the car off because we've got 2 cars and we don't need 2 cars.
So I think the longer form content would be nice, because if people are tuning in, they're tuning in for 10 or 15 minutes, and you don't have to be like, so worried about grabbing people's attention. So I think it would be nice. Why did you do that? You're just hilarious, Ollie.
Right, so there might be a link underneath when she starts her YouTube. But
Yes.
thanks, Sammy, and that was a little car chat.
Thanks,
while we drive
Ollie.
out of Belfast.
Are you looking forward to seeing hog trailers?
Yep.
Trailers.
So off we go.
Off we toddle.